Hi, welcome back to the Tammy Schrader podcast. I cannot even tell you how happy and excited I am to be here. I have a special guest tonight, and this is being brought to you by Level Up Education Consulting. And I am just so thrilled because tonight we're going to go back to where it all started for me. And I do want to say a special shout out to my producer, Yanni, who is brilliant and amazing. We have had 6,000,000,001 technical issues, and he solved them all, and we are here with you live. And I am so proud of him and so happy to be here. So thanks, Yanni. Thanks for tolerating me. So tonight, I want to introduce you to the 7th grader, who's not a 7th grader anymore, but he is who started my story on games. And my story with Tim started in a 7th grade classroom in May when I knew that we were going to be doing a crap ton, can I say that on the air, of state testing in May. That's what happens in schools in Washington State. And I knew that they would be pulling kids in and out. And so what I had kids do is build a game. Well, in my mind, we were going to build Monopoly games, board games, card games, dice game, pick something, right? And instead, Tim shows up the day after I make the assignment and puts a thumb drive in my hand. And I say, do you want me to print instructions? What do you want me to do? And he goes, I hacked into Mario. And so today, and by the way, my life hasn't been the same since that day. I now go all over the world talking about games. I speak at conferences. I've been to the White House 4 or 5 times. And I tell him all the time, Tim, I blame you for my life. So I would love to introduce you to my ex-7th grade student. His name is Tim Dykstra, and he is lovely and brilliant and amazing. So he is going to join us. Hi, Tim.
Hello, greetings.
Hey, I was just telling him how brilliant and amazing you are. And I always end any kind of talk I do, Tim, I always say things like, and thank God he works in cybersecurity in the United States, right? I'm glad you didn't go somewhere else because you're brilliant and amazing. So, Tim, I just am so grateful you're here, and I just have some questions, and I just want to have a conversation with you because I know my side of the story. What I don't know is your side of the story, sure. And I would love to hear it. So, Tim, what I remember is you coming in the day after the assignment, and you dumped a thumb drive in my hand, and you said, I hacked into Mario. And Tim, you may not know this, but my first thought when you did that was, I think that's illegal. But my second thought came pretty quickly afterwards. I'm like, woohoo, Tim did the assignment. This is great. So, Tim, tell me your side of that story.
Sure.
I made an assignment and said, could we please do some games? Because I knew kids were going to be in and out of my room because they were doing makeups for the state testing. So, Tim, your side of the story, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So that assignment was right before spring break. You had us do it over the course of a spring break. And serendipitously, my family was taking a trip to Canada at that time, right? So for like a week long. So I thought to myself, what am I going to do in the back of my car for like a week, 5 days of driving, while I need to still get this assignment done and be on the trip and whatever. So at that time, I had an old crusty Dell laptop, a fantastically old Dell Expiron. I forgot what they call them. But I had the ability to run a software on there that's still out there today. It's called Lunar Magic, made for free by some
What's it called?
guy.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
It's called Lunar Magic.
Lunar Magic. Thank you. I'm sorry, I just misheard. Can you keep going?
Made by freeware, as many things are nowadays somehow. Piece of freeware that was...
Interrupt you and ask you a question here.
Yeah.
You're a 7th grader.
Yes.
How do you know there's some software out there called Lunar, whatever it was called? How did you even know that? I'm 62 and I still don't know that.
Unfettered and unmonitored access to the internet. Thank you, parents. Okay.
Yeah, but even so, I have unlimited access to the internet too, Tim, and I still don't know about it. So how did you?
Sure, I got on the line there just by Googling I think I was watching YouTube videos of like these ROM hacks basically, and the ROM hack community is huge now. It's massive. Like it's very.
I don't even know what that is. What's the ROM hack community?
The ROM hack community is basically where you take a game, a ROM is what they used to be called.
Okay.
A game ROM. And then change things on the inside, like I did with my assignment, basically. And the ROM hacking community is huge, especially for the game that I used, which was Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. The game has inspired so much ROM hacking, and even inspired the original creator of the game, Nintendo, right, to make a game based off that idea called Mario Maker. Like basically the community inspired Nintendo again to make the Mario Maker games that are basically official ROM hacks in a way.
So what inspired you to pick Mario?
It's just what I had, like that game just happened to be like the most accessible for modification. Probably in my kid brain, like if I had the ability, I would have probably taken something like Zelda, which was probably my most inspirational game as a child. This is how I learned how to read right here, this thing. So probably in my kid mind, I would have gone after that, but Mario World on the Super Nintendo was just very accessible and easy to break apart and build levels with and stuff. So that's kind of the medium I chose. There's also a lot of like background support available, so I could like go on the internet and ask questions and be like, I'm trying to do this thingy, and there's a lot of support in that community at that time. So yeah, in the back of my car going to Canada and just trying to meld this biology, cell mitosis project with my passion at the time, basically.
Okay. Now, Tim, I don't know if you ever knew this, but when you brought in that game, I had a smart board in my room, and I put it in on the smart board. And I don't know if you know this, or even because why would you? But every kid in that effing building was coming in. Oh, sorry, Yanni, I didn't mean to swear. Every kid in that building was coming in wanting to play this cell game, and I remember thinking, these kids aren't beating down my door to play, like to do science.
Yeah.
So now Mr. Mike Stark was the principal at the time, and I call him down and I show him the game, and I said, I don't think I'm serving kids the way they need to be served. Look at this game. And this is what I really remember, is that he sat down with you in my classroom, and you guys start having this conversation about, well, how much, I don't even remember the words. I remember thinking, I don't understand a single thing that they are saying to each other, because he had a bunch of questions about how you hacked in. So I don't know if you know this, but that game was like life altering for me, because all of a sudden every kid in that building wanted access.
Yeah,
right?
I remember just people collecting around your science room and checking it out.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Now, do you have a surprise for us? This would be a great time.
I do, yes.
I would love. This would be a great time to show it.
But yeah, just a quick little demo here.
We have time.
Here is the game. So I'm running this actually on my Wii. I'm using the original hardware right now to play this thing. But yeah, Timmy the D makes Super Cell World. Here we are. So I'm just going to give you a super basic overview.
I have to tell you, Tim, seeing this brings back so much joy and happiness to me. Like, I'm loving it.
I'm so glad. Anyway, so essentially, a lot of people did like Monopoly adaptations, whatever. But the way that I took it was that this is a 2-player experience. Basically, one person would be Mario or Luigi. Luigi go up top, Mario go on bottom. And the game is kind of just like blending together. Sorry, I'm looking at my screen down here because this is where my little CRT on my desk is.
Yeah, it's great. And Yanni is showing it. It's fabulous.
Yeah. So you just do a little Mario level, right? And at first they're pretty simple. What's funny is that I had never like really actually played all the way through the game till recently. Here. So here's the question: when does the cell start the mitosis process? TAMMIE Schrader.
Check this out, Yanni. Do you know? Okay, we don't know. So go ahead.
You don't know? Okay.
We're gonna guess.
You're gonna guess? Give me a random one. A, B, or C.
Okay. C. I can't even read the screen. I'm getting old.
While it's in cytokinesis is your answer. Is when mitosis starts. I don't know if that's right though. So if it's right, we get to go on to the further levels. But if it's wrong, it'll kill you right away. And you have to oh, it's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. Tim, what I loved about this game is, and I tell this all the time all over the world, I had never met Mario before this experience. Really? And I'm not even sure I'm a friend of Mario to this day. But I still am in awe of the number of kids that would knock on the freaking door in the morning and at lunch and after school to come play this game. And I do remember thinking, kids would knock on the door, they go, hey, Miss Schrader, can we come in and play that game? And I thought, let me understand this. You want to come in on your time and play a game about cells. And I just remember you know how you can picture a light bulb going on over your head, and I remember thinking, this a thing. This has got to be a thing. What I didn't know it was it was a national and international movement to put games into schools, right? Which we're still working on. So I understand why you picked Mario now, and I know I don't have a whole ton of time left, so I have to ask you, because you said something fascinating. You said, this is how I learned to read, and you pushed up Zelda. Please explain that to me.
Yeah, this guy right here. So, well, first of all,
I thought Zelda was a she.
No. Well, Zelda is a she, but you play as Link in the game. It's confusing.
Okay. Sorry. Thanks. That's my plug for women's equality. Go ahead, Tim.
So yeah, learn how to read playing this game on my N64. This was the game that I actually remember, when the lights kind of turned on as a human. This is the game for me, Mario 64. But the game that really got me into gaming, I would say, is this one right here. Zelda Ocarina of Time, where you play as Link. Zelda is a princess in the castle. You got to go save her, yada yada.
Okay, so a basic storyline. We're gonna go save the princess. Okay,
yeah, save the princess. But in this game is made up of a lot of puzzle solving. That is kind of the main attribute of Zelda games as a whole.
Okay,
puzzle solving. So that and reading stuff to kind of figure out like what are you supposed to do. So I was a very chipper adolescent, 4 to 5 year old at the time in Valdosta, Georgia, and I loved Link. Yeah, 4 or 5. I know.
4 to 5 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Like, I'm impressed. I don't think I could do Zelda at 62, but go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Well, this was the catalyst for me to encourage me to read, because my older brother is 10 years older than me, Benjamin Dykstra. He was a fantastic teacher, and he didn't know it at the time, but he was definitely enforcing really good learning principles in me at the time when it came to just tenacity to solve problems. And he made me read the text boxes before I could move on. There's a lot of text boxes, right? And as a kid, I just want to smash the A button and go slash stuff, right? But my brother Ben was like,
that's every kid I've ever met.
Right. My brother Ben was like, oh man, you gotta read these text boxes. You gotta try to read this. So he would help me read these text boxes and stuff. So I'd actually be like, okay, I get it now, right? And then I would go do the thingy that I had to go do afterwards. So that was an invaluable experience for me as a kid. And I think basically was that was the seed for further problem solving skills that I've developed over time that have now led ultimately to my success in my career. I would say.
So this is a great time to say to you, what do you do in your career now, Tim?
I am a cybersecurity consultant at the Weather Wing here on base at Offutt Air Force Base. Right now, we're taking care of moving some stuff into the cloud. It's funny, weather stuff, clouds. But yeah, that's my day to day is cybersecurity compliance and cloud cyber for the DoD, which is pretty complicated.
That's, I always tell people, I'm so glad he's on our side. Like, seriously, this kid is wicked smart. You are always wicked smart. So here's I remember in 7th grade, God, this kid's wicked smart. But I would like to ask you about, because I know you've shared this with me, and I'd like to share this and talk about, how have you used gaming to solidify, because I know you have 3 children, and I don't want to say their names out of respect for, underage, but you created this blog at one point, and you do. So can you just talk to me a little bit about gaming and how it contributes to your family unit?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Gaming, obviously, it's been a giant part of my life. I got Zelda tattoos and stuff. So, of course, I'm going to pass that love, or I'm going to try to pass off that culture off to my kids. But I am being exceptionally intentional about how I pass this culture off. I don't want to just kind of give them games willy-nilly and be like, oh, here, go figure it out, right? I want to treat games as a building block experience overall. I want them to solve puzzles like I did when I was a kid, so that kind of enforces these problem-solving skills that they can build upon. And they're already doing that, teamwork, all these things. There's so many ways to encourage good family time and also just learning with especially these old games. Now there are some great new games. I'm not just like completely keeping them in the dark. I do have a bunch of old games, but I'm just very selective about which games they play. Honestly, there's a lot of Nintendo games because they just make just an insanely good quality stuff. But I do have a large repertoire of like old RPGs that I'm excited to get in with my kids. The oldest one actually did Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo not too long ago, and actually I have the Japanese copy. So we kind of like, we had our iPad, we were like putting it on the screen and like translating it. So we're like learning about like, oh my gosh, Japanese and like, games at the same time. It was awesome.
So do you still do your blog post?
No, I do not do that anymore. I'm way too busy now, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
It was a great time. I would love to, as I've told you, get back into it, but busy parent at the moment.
Yeah. Well, yeah. 3 kids. Yeah, I get it. Okay, Tim, I'm so sad because I have a million more questions, but we're out of time.
That's okay.
So can I just end by telling you, first of all, I still blame you for creating the life I have. Like, I never know what is up and down, and I'm like, it just makes me laugh. Every time I tell our story, I tell the audience, I still blame Tim for my life. I just was moving along in my science world and pretty happy to be there. But thank you so much. And the second thing, I just love and adore you. And I know that you know that, but that has been true since I had you in 7th grade. So I just want to say thanks.
Best teacher ever.
I paid him to say that, Yanni. So, I'm over, so I'm going to have to let you go. But
right.
Tim, I can't even tell you thank you so much.
Thank you as well. Thanks for having me.
So much. So fun to see you. Always, always.
Absolutely.
Okay.
See y'all.
Thanks. Okay, thank you for joining us. The next time on our next session, we will be talking about an up-and-coming company called Game Class, who is using video games to teach lessons. Any video game they can make, any lesson you like. So thank you for joining us today.